Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Mr. B. It is a pleasure to have you guys back with us. The latest news, there's some rumors going around. I just saw this come across my feed. Is there's a potential departure between the Obamas and Netflix. So it raises the question: is Netflix dropping the Obamas? I don't know, but there are some stories going around. Let's see what some of the ones posted.
Let's say you're a Transformers fan. You were raised in the 80s like me on the original Transformers. You had the toys. You even liked the Michael Bay films from the early 2000s. And you're a parent now, and you're like, well, wait a second. And Netflix has a Transformers show. Why don't I let my kids watch the Netflix Transformers show? How can they Transformers, right? Oh, they can. It's Netflix.
Nightshade's pronouns are they, them.
He or she just doesn't fit who I am. My apologies.
Okay.
Surely that was just one stupid clip. Maybe it's AI. So anyway, that's like a real line that they wrote for a Transformers children's adaptation, right?
It's hard to know who's dangerous or not.
That's true, though disappointing.
Hey, it's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Oh, God. This is ridiculous. Netflix is inserting these messages into these kid shows as a means of transforming them mentally to accept or to grow up thinking that this way of behaving is okay. And for conservative-minded Christian people, this is a violation. So shocking to see that Transformers is now being utilized as a messaging platform to essentially poison the minds of our children into this whole non-binary language. Let's see.
Non-binary?
People who aren't female or male. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I always knew my pronouns felt right, but
It's extremely against what it says in the Bible. In the Bible, it says there's men and there's women, period. And as a Christian, I subscribe to that. That's my personal beliefs. But we live in a world where there's a message to try to push children into believing that there is no sexes, there's no gender, there's no male or female. A male could be a female or a female could be a male, or they can be none of the above. And I don't believe that. And unfortunately, Netflix has not stopped, or not an attack on Netflix, but these shows are now integrating this confusing messaging into the shows, again, for the kids to grow up believing that this is an okay thing. And it's not an okay thing.
what a wonderful word for a wonderful experience.
How did you get this? And why? They're robots speaking with children, talking about their sex. They're robots talking about sex. They're sex robots. And they're confused sex robots, and everybody's disgusted by it. And of course, this is ubiquitous across Netflix programming. That is the most eccentric and most diabolical far left-wing gender-bending alphabet programming that exists in the entire world. Netflix stock, when this was exposed in mass, tanked because everybody was like, wait a second, why would I allow this to happen to my children? Elon Musk sharing our clip. I'm very happy to have been a small part in the fight against this madness. Tim Burchett saying that Netflix executives should testify to Congress as why they're pushing sexualized transgender shows on young kids. Elon Musk says, good. Elon Musk says, good, after Burchett's proposal to question Netflix about transing the kids. Elon Musk also called for the cancellation of Netflix, mass cancellation, protect the kids, cancel Netflix, transgender agenda, your kids. And it looks like it worked, actually. Netflix got rid of some staff. They locked down or cut out some of their business. Their stock was down more than 30 points, even when the market was up 100. Netflix executives were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. There's no end. People were mass deleting their accounts. They were mass canceling their accounts. Probably really smart. Netflix account is like $25 these days. But it lends sort of a question like, how and why did Netflix become such political propagandists to the detriment of their business and the collapse of their business model, and to violate the trust of their consumers? You could just not trans the kids. That's what children's entertainment has been for hundreds of years. You could just not push some type of radical, okay, Barack and Michelle Obama have a Netflix deal. And Barack and Michelle Obama and their production company, Higher Grounds, was a part of many, many Netflix productions. In fact, you can go here and see that Michelle Obama on her Rotten Tomatoes page, First Lady of the White House, is a passionate advocate for alphabet rights and children's nutrition. Are they related? Well, Michelle Obama is related to Barack Obama, and they have a trash production company. And I can say it's trash because, one, nobody likes what they're making. Look at this. Here's their latest Netflix banger that was out this December, 36% on Rotten Tomatoes. The rest of her higher rated movies are about herself. Look at this. The Eyes of Ghana, Becoming Michelle Obama, Michelle Obama, Obama, Michelle Obama, Obama. They say that President Trump is conceited and obsessed with himself. There's something like just completely megalomaniacal about the Obamas.
I think I'm hearing him say that the Obama's production company has something to do with some of these non-binary production being produced on Netflix, like some of these cartoons that's trying to push this messaging to children is coming from their production company. If that's the case, this is the reason why this dude dropped a lot of people off, especially Christians, because I don't support that. I don't support the confusing our children into believing into this no gender thing. I don't believe that fundamentally as a Christian. I don't believe that. And it's unfortunate because it seems to be that there's a link between the two. And this is what I'm learning here.
I mean, Donald Trump is not the producer of like 15 different documentaries about himself. Okay, whatever the dude's done, like this is obscene. By the way, look at the length of her bio. It's always a red flag, by the way. But Michelle Obama, they don't rate, right? Look at this. Michelle Obama, Forward Motion, 33%. These are her highest rated movies. These are the highest rated movies from the Obamas. 36%, 33%, and some of these don't have ratings. Well, how do you do that on Rotten Tomatoes? Shouldn't you be able to so wait, are they able to get around the rating system on Rotten Tomatoes? It's called Obama privilege. This is one of the bangers the Obamas brought to Netflix. You should just in a movie called World to Leave Behind, the one that got 30% on Rotten Tomatoes, just make sure that you don't trust any white people in the apocalypse.
If the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people.
Thank you, Obamas. Wow. It's like the Obamas are telling us their worldview in that writing. You can see here that nobody liked it. Everybody hated it, actually. 10,000 plus 10,000 ratings got a 36%. That's really low, especially for woke tripe on Netflix and on Rotten Tomatoes. And so it is with great joy that we report to you that Barack and Michelle Obama have been fired by Netflix. Their Higher Ground independent media deal, their Higher Ground production studio goes independent after Netflix deal expires. So they destroyed the brand. They brought in all these absolute goof troops into Netflix. They made nothing. They created nothing, just a bunch of self-inserts and a bunch of selfish productions about how great they are. I mean, literally, look at this. Look at the Higher Grounds production. This is their website. So it's Michelle Obama and her brother, who looks like a woman, and Michelle Obama, who looks like a man. Which I honestly, I can't get over. Like, tell me, something is truly wrong. Like with the genetics, whatever. Above my pay grade. But get a load of this. Look at what they make. Starting 5. Proof. Court of Gold. R. Othend. Later dated. American Symphony. What do you think this is about exactly? Do you think that this is about a Barack Obama self-insert living in Hawaii? Yeah. As a young gay man? Leave the world behind. There you go. Working, what we do all day. What do you do all day? Well, the Obamas, who are, of course, in every single production that they make, Descendant. I wonder what this is about. Oh, wow. Another angsty urban story told from the perspective of this scientist. We need more girls in STEM. That's right. Fatherhood. We the people. Could you imagine? It's Hassan Piker. Could you imagine? Have you ever seen a more cringe-inducing drawing? Like my cortisol levels are spiking just looking at this drawing. You can hear this artwork, and they're putting this up. Becoming. Look at how excited this chick is to be next to Michelle Obama. Look how thrilled. They're thrilled. American Factory. Right. Okay. From people who've never done a day of hard work in their lives. So this is what they made. It's all garbage. Careers. I hope that we can get a job here. I would love to apply. I want to apply for a job at Higher Ground Careers. No positions available. You know, so how good a company is doing if they're like hiring and they're not. Barack and Michelle Obama's Productions is reportedly going independent. Current deal with Netflix expires. The company plans to sell projects to multiple studios. Wow. Instead of staying tied to the streaming giant. That's right. Sell it to multiple studios. I'm sure everyone's lining up around the block for these bangers. I'm sure everyone's lining up around the block for later daters. Sure. Yeah, this looks great. It's extremely compelling. Everyone's waiting to see what happens in this story. It's a total mystery what happens in that story. Yep. Yeah. We're all waiting to see Adam Conover, the G word. This is what all the studios want. This is what the studios need more of. That's right. This. Let's continue. It's going to take me so long to get through. As the agreement winds down, the company has begun to setting up projects at HBO, Apple, and other theaters. Well, yeah, Apple probably, right? Money laundering. Organization, right? Paying for slop that nobody will watch. And they're like payouts to their friends. It's like a way for Hollywood to like pay out Barack Obama, but they don't get unlimited money. You know, eventually you're going to have to make things that people watch. Marvel's learning this, Disney's learning this, Star Wars learning this. The ex-president said that he and his wife and their company, with the intention of trying to see if we could lift up some of the stories that make America look at itself and excavate some of those better angels of our nature. You've really done a great job with this. Yeah, trying to rig all the elections across the country, spying on President Trump, trying to rig an election. You really elevated everything. You better angels for the Obamas always, right? Especially droning little kids. He praised Netflix and their 8-year-long relationship. We're very grateful to the launch happen, and we'll give you an example of the kind of series, the kind of stories that we've told. Obama went on to mention American Factory. Okay. Got it. About a documentary about a Chinese company reopening a shuttered factory in Ohio. I wonder who paid for it. Dirty communist. This is dirty communist. Higher Ground's Netflix slate spanned genres from the hit thriller Leave the World Behind. What are you talking about? This Leave the World Behind? This one? This is the hit thriller? This is the thriller. This 36% on Rotten Tomatoes. Who's writing this? Netflix, by the way, is just crashing. Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings making a shocking exit, sending shares tumbling. Shares for Netflix have been in absolute collapse. Woke Netflix ditches the Obamas. Netflix parting ways with Michelle Obama. They're coming to their senses. Look at this. Look what's happened to Netflix. Woof. Timber. 6 months. Whoa. 1 year. Timber. Netflix collapse. And all their employees walked out because they brought on Dave Chappelle. Isn't that amazing? They brought on Dave Chappelle told funny jokes, and all of their employees protested the funny jokes that he was telling to make them money and pay their salaries. Yeah, okay. You want an actual slate of movies that you'll like David, this is without question one of the greatest children's films ever made, and it was thrilling for my children to watch it. They want to watch it all the time. They love this movie. And go to Angel Studios. Become a member of the Angel Guild. They're like the opposite of Netflix. They're the inverse of Netflix. And they've got incredible movies for everyone. But also they have an incredible core of the company where instead of trying to manipulate your children and pry them away from you, they're trying to bring you and your family together, actually.
Okay, that was Benny from The Benny Show expressing his opinions. You can clearly tell he's not a big fan of the Obamas. Some of the conversation about Michelle Obama looking like a man and her brother looking like a woman, I don't think any of those two statements are true. That seems a bit personal. I can't get behind those type of things. I do believe, though, the things that they stand for, I don't subscribe to. I don't subscribe to the idea that you should confuse children in their sexuality and their genders. I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to the push or that agenda itself. So for that point of view, I disagree with them on that ideology. In terms of the personal attacks, that's not really my thing. Clearly, they've offended a lot of people. And these are very, very, I don't know what the appropriate word would be, but they're very underhanded in terms of doing a lot of things behind the scenes to complicate things for people. So, there was a lot of things brought to light that that Barack Obama has done as a means of trying to undermine his political opponent, Donald Trump. And I think those are sort of the points that Benny's alluding to. He's doing it with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. So I don't know on that part, but it does seem like Netflix is not continuing the relationship with the Obamas, and they have decided to move on. That being said, let's see who picks them up. I have young children. I don't necessarily want any of my young children being indoctrinated with this type of message. We're supposed to be a Christian nation, but we're infusing anti-Christian messaging in our children's cartoons and entertainment shows, and I don't like it. That's not my take. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a big fan of that. So from that standpoint, I'm not, pushing for the Obamas to continue pushing this type of agenda out. So it doesn't matter to me what happens with their Netflix deals. It seems like Netflix, once they've crunched the numbers, don't see the need to renew the relationship. So they're walking away from it. All right. This was the update on this Netflix deal. I wasn't aware of where the video was going to go, and you saw where it went. That was my commentary on it, but I definitely invite you guys to weigh in. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree with my point of view, Benny's point of view? Is it a good thing that the Obamas is no longer pushing certain content on Netflix? Is Netflix to hold more of the blame for the fact that they allow such content to be pushed, because their stock market price took a huge drop? They were definitely affected by, how the company was being run. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's my take on this. If you're not connected to the show, like and subscribe and stay connected. All right, guys, leave a comment, message, and share the video. All right, talk to you soon. Later.